Welcome to Flying Smoke. Today we are going to, well, let's dive right in it. We're going to make ribs. But we're not going to make ribs like you used to. We're going to use something that was an accident, a happy accident. And it was discovered by Mr. Mark Lambert from Sweetswineo'mine. And you can find it at home on this. I'll put the links to it down in the bottom, and you can go on Amazon and find it. Operation Barbecue Relief Cookbook. Let's get started. We are back in the Sweetswineo'mine kitchen, and we're going to be talking about something that you can do, because maybe you watch some of these things, but you want some recipes, you want some tangible stuff, and more to the point, you want to give to a good organization, and they can help other people in need. Not just the needs of your cooking, but people that don't have a home anymore. I'm not trying to be, well, I don't know what the word would be, pandering to this, but this is a real organization that is starting to grow nationwide, and we are lucky enough to have a gentleman that lives by us, Mr. Mark Lambert from Sweetswineo'mine. And on page 32, they gave you some space to do a recipe.
Yeah, we've done really well at Memphis in May with 4 world championships, 2 overall grand championships. We've been fortunate enough to win ribs at the American Royal. In 2019, we actually won grand champion honors at the Houston Hot Sauce Show Rodeo.
But as you can see, I have a world champion pitmaster next to me, and you don't. But you will through me. So there, that works. You can follow Mark at his Facebook page.
Right.
And you can. Mark's got a YouTube channel, and this is going up on that. I'll put a link to Mark's wait a minute. Up here. Mark's YouTube channel's up here. It's Sweetswineo'mine. And he does recipes with the red box, and he's doing all these things. But we're going to pull this one out. This is one my wife and I have been, she found this on page 32, I believe. Mm-hmm. Everybody complains that ribs, it takes 5 hours, it takes that. Yeah. We got the solution for this. Because if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly. I'm going to let you have it. I'm just going to sit here and watch. I'm going to learn.
I'm sitting there that we had prepped a bunch of ribs for the next day for one of our catering events at Memphis in May. And every time we do, we try to give them a competition quality rib. So we trim the ends off. So we trim that down. We've got 3 bones from each slab left over. We were cooking like 25 slabs that night.
You got a bunch.
We had a lot of rib bones left, and there's this big pile, and everybody just left them laying there. I'm like, I can't throw that away. Well, I've got hot oil. I said, well, let me just fry a few of them. So I threw some in the oil. And when they came out, I was like, that's pretty good. They cooked really quick. So I was like, well, I had a little bit of batter left. I had a little bit of flour and some cornstarch. So I threw them in there, tossed them in. I'm like, hey, that just tastes like a really good pork chop. That's like Mama's fried Sunday afternoon pork chop. So another level, I'm like, I wonder what that tastes like with some wing sauce on it. So I had some wing sauce. So I threw a couple in the wing sauce and one bite. And I'm like, whoa.
You got something.
Wait a minute. And I look around, nobody's there. Nobody's there to taste it. I'm all by myself with this premonition, this thing that I've developed just out of chance.
Eureka.
And I'm like, nobody's here. And so I run across to the neighbors, and I can't remember exactly who was across that year from us. I'm like, try this. And they're like, man, that's pretty good. What is that? They didn't know what it was. I said, it's a fried rib. What?
A what? That's what I said.
So I told them what we did. Next time, everyone's starting to make their, when you go to Memphis in May, you make loops, and you go and you visit your friends, and you drink a beer. Well, occasionally you have to come back by and pick up another road beer, right?
Yes, you do.
So people were coming back by to get their road beers, and I'm like, look, you got to try this. Come here. You guys got to check this out. I have come upon something like unbelievable, a fried rib. And they go, a fried rib? What? And I'm like, come here, try that. And every time anyone came over and tasted it, they're like, oh my God, I've never had anything like that. I'm like, right? I mean, this was just chance. I just threw this together while no one was here, and it's, oh my God, this is really good. And, I tried making changes to the recipe, and I always come back to the base recipe that first started, when I very first made
it.
We're going to show you exactly the first recipe, and it has not changed. That was about 2001.
Oh my.
And, you know, I've heard all kinds of people say that they invented the fried rib. Come on, man. You know, I did this a long time ago. And this has the crunchy outside texture. It has like fried chicken texture. Nice. Now, is it a fall off the bone rib? No. It has texture. It's kind of like eating a chicken leg off the bone. You've got to eat it off the bone.
Nothing wrong with that.
But it has flavor, it has texture, and it's salty and sweet and savory all at the same time. When they asked me what we wanted to put in the cookbook, had to put fried ribs in there. We've got a couple other recipes that we really like that we make regularly for the family in there as well.
Full of it.
The photography, the recipes are from world champion cooks, from people that have been on the circuit. They're from not just average Joes. Most of these recipes are from people that cook and have cooked, that own restaurants, that compete regularly, and they're tried and true recipes that they got from their friends and family and moms and dads throughout the year. So whenever people submitted these recipes, they had to take photos, they had to do taste tests, and man, it really shows in the thought that was put into not only the photos, but which recipes people put in there.
These are people that have won world championships, that have you know, I mean, well, we'll show you up here, but all stuff above us is, and these are people, they kind of like when I do with my charcoal videos. I'm doing the work for you. Mark's done the work for you, and it's tried and true, just for you. So I'm going to let him get to it.
So we're not going to use the trimmings because we're going to make a little bit more today. We're going to use the full slab. And we'll show you exactly how we do this. Real simple process. We're going to take our ribs, and yeah, I will go ahead and skin them. So if you never skinned a slab of back ribs, just get your finger between a couple of bones, push down real hard and pull back, and you'll grab that little membrane. Run your fingers all the way through and grab that membrane, and it should pull completely off. We're going to cut our ribs up. Just cut them between the bones, y'all. I'm going to try to keep cutting it close to the middle as I can, but I'm not worried too much about it. I do it on this side so I can see the bones and the meat and make good even cuts. And boy, these ribs they've got most of the chine bone off, and they're trimmed up pretty darn nice. Right at the end, I had a little bit. So once we get these cut up, we're going to go into our pan.
Okay.
All right, here's the trick.
Okay.
We're going to take that out of the way. So in order to get a decent amount of batter to stick, I always like to add a little water. And cold water. Okay. I like to add cold water. Many times because we're doing this outside, and at Memphis in May, we put cold water on there just to keep food at safe temperatures. So we use a little ice water. But what we found, just by chance, just like the recipe, is that cold ice water helps us keep a really good crunchy, thick batter on the ribs. Not too much. One more thing. Season this water. It helps. It's going to absorb a little bit of it. Put a little bit of seasoning on. I like onion. And this is all queued up. John Lindsay's all queued up. And I love onion powder. I love, one of my favorite chips in the world are Funyuns.
Oh.
And this reminds me of Funyuns because it's got a lot of onion and it's got some pepper in it. So
that's new for John, right?
It is new. It's a really good steak seasoning, and I really like it. Simple, simple, simple. We're going to take a little flour, and no, we're not going to measure it. We don't need to.
I can tell my wife sitting behind the camera right now going, how much flour do you use? As much as you need?
Yeah, about that much. I'm going to say that's probably 2.5 to 3 cups on the average.
It's that much.
So we're going to put some flour in there. If we need more, guess what? We'll add some more.
Well, the recipe's in the book. But honestly, you really just kind of eyeball it. We're not baking a cake. Right. You don't need anything to rise. You just need to rise to the occasion.
That's it. All right. That is the dry portion. Now, on to the sauce. We're going to put this in a pot. We're going to set it on the side of the cooker to heat up. The main thing that's got to happen is this butter's got to melt.
Okay.
Stick of butter. Now, for those of you that are buying the next ingredient at the grocery store, you will not be buying it in the grocery store in this container because you have to order this. This is a gallon of tiger sauce, basic tiger sauce, okay? So when you buy tiger sauce at the store, it's usually in a 5-ounce jar, a little 5-ounce glass bottle, or a 10-ounce glass bottle. So you need 10 ounces of tiger sauce.
Okay.
Are we going to measure this? No.
No.
But if you're buying it and you want to reproduce this recipe, 1 stick of butter, 10 ounces of tiger sauce. Our next ingredients over here are Louisiana hot sauce and your choice of vinegar. Rice wine vinegar works really well. A tablespoon of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of Frank's Red Hot. That is the recipe.
I got $1 says he doesn't measure that either.
Absolutely not. I'm just, I say that's what I use because it's about what I think that it needs to be. Yeah. So it just gives you a benchmark. However, I usually just pour it in until it looks about right.
That was 9, 10.
Yeah, it looks about 10 ounces. Yeah. So we're going to go in with our hot sauce. Louisiana hot sauce is really, I'm just going to go in a couple tablespoons.
Yep.
And a little bit of vinegar.
You like rice better than the apple?
Like
apple vinegar?
I've gotten to where I like rice vinegar better than just about anything. I like apple vinegar in many things, but I think I probably cook more with apple and white vinegar. I use this more raw. So
it's good salt.
I love it.
It's nice and soft. I mean, it just doesn't overpower.
Exactly. It's just a real soft, didn't have that as much of a sharp flavor as like apple cider. So your choice of vinegars doesn't matter much. Now, can you add things to this? Yes. This is just the basic recipe that I've used year after year that people always come back for. We're going to do a batch at a time. Now, if you do them ahead of time, you let them set, you're going to build up more and more batter. We don't want a ton of batter on our ribs. We just want a light coat that's nice and crunchy and it flakes. So all we're going to do is take, there's
nothing to this.
I'm going to take a little bit of this water off as I'm doing it. And
I'll go get that ready. I got to do something off camera.
So then we're going to take a dry hand as best we can so it doesn't gum up as bad. And we're just going to move these ribs around in this flour. And that's all we're going to do is make sure they got a good even coat of flour on them. We're going to go check our temperature. So at times in temperatures, I really couldn't tell you. It's depending on how much you crowd the pan. But temperature, I really like about 320 degrees. 350 is your typical frying temp. However, these will brown before they get tender. They need a little bit more time because it's a tough cut of meat. So I like to reduce my frying temperature, give them more time to tenderize as they cook, and it still creates a really good crust on the outside. As they warm up, the temperature of the oil warms up, and it helps with the crispiness on the outside. So that's probably more than a batch right there. We'll start off with that, and if we need to add some more flour when we put the ribs in, we'll do it, but that'll probably take care of everything we've got here. So we'll move out to the cooker here, and we're going to get ready to fry some ribs.
All right, we got this fancy, what you call this?
tribalfiregrill. So the folks at Tribal Fire wanted us to play with their cooker. They sent us one of these new quarter drum cookers. It's got a flat top around the outside so you can griddle your burgers, your smash burgers. It's got these risers here with this movable grill surface that you can put over the center, or you can, we've got a riser here to hold our wok. So we threw in some B&B wood chunks and got the flame going, get this thing nice and hot, and we've got I guess about a quart of vegetable oil in there.
Okay.
It's running about 330 degrees,
okay,
and we can fry some ribs.
You got your tiger sauce?
Yeah, we got our mixture here. Uh-oh.
All right.
Never mind the little things. We have got all of our tiger sauce, butter, hot sauce, and vinegar all hanging out right there, staying warm.
Nice. Off
to the side. And when you put your ribs in, I usually just try to dust them off a little bit. And into the grease they go. And we're going to see how many we can get in there. 6 and 8 and 10.
That's 10 bones right there.
10 bones. 1, 2, 3.
There you go, Mark.
So these are going to go essentially until they're done. I'm going to say that. What I mean by done is as they cook, the marrow will start to come out of the bones and you'll see it collect on the end. It'll get little black spots on the end. Okay. You can pull that off. So that's one way you know that they're getting hot on the inside. They're going to get brown on the outside. So you want a golden brown. You don't want it too dark. The darker it gets, it changes the flavor too much. So we're just looking for a nice brown outside. And if you've got a lot of oil, you're going to see them start to float.
Sure.
So we're going to put them in there. We're going to let them cook. It typically takes at that temperature neighborhood of 10 to 12 minutes.
10 to 12 minutes and you got ribs.
And you got ribs. Now, it's not your average everyday rib.
No.
But it's a rib.
They're deep fried ribs.
That's right. And you can see they're already starting to flake up a little bit.
And yes, the recipes are, and my wife is off camera waving at me, these recipes are in the book. If you're one of those folks, and that's fine, but you want to follow recipes, I want to know this, I want to know this, it will come out the same, but we're not baking here. So you can do, like when it's done, it's done. This is one of my lines that I say to my wife all the time. When will the food be done? When it's done. What?
We got it.
Oh.
I stopped it.
Stop.
I thought that was just a good time to stop.
That is. That's a good time.
The only thing I think you're missing, I don't think, yeah, it's on stop, is that obviously you can use deep fried on the,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that it doesn't have to be on this fancy.
No,
obviously,
no.
you can do your traditional
This is just for fun.
deep fryer.
All right.
They're about ready.
Mark says they're done. They're done.
We're cooking, we're experimenting, frying on a tribal fire. A gas propane fryer might be a little more efficient, but not near as fun.
And you could use this in your kitchen with just a pot of oil.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got a good consistent hot oil. That's all you need to fry this. Look at this. These ribs are brown and crispy. Look at that. They're ready. So we're going to take them. We're draining them just a second with our tongs. And as we drain them, if we get a little oil in there, no sweat.
That's fine.
Got butter in there anyway, right?
Right.
So we're going to pick these ribs up a little at a time. And then that's about enough to get us started. And as you can see, we've got our sauce in there that was staying hot here on the side. All we're going to do is make sure we get a little coat. And there's a little shrapnel line.
That's all right.
We're just going to toss them. Make sure they get good, even coverage.
Just like a wing.
Just like a wing. And we're going to take them right into our pan. And our last few. Toss a little at a time, makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, man.
These are going to have a nice crunch,
Oh, man.
sweet, spicy, all the way around.
Yep, just like, look, page 32.
Like that. Resemblance?
Yes, the resemblance is uncanny. But page 32. There you go, folks. You saw how easy it is.
Step by step right there in the OBR cookbook. Go to Amazon, buy the OBR cookbook. I'm telling you, the quality of the recipes and the photography and the individuals behind it, unbeatable.
This is just, folks, look at this food, folks. I'm not trying to stop. It's just, click, click,
I've
click.
cooked a ton of those
click,
recipes
click,
and
click,
have not
click.
been disappointed.
So now, get on your computer. Y'all are at home and click away. Amazon.com?
Amazon.
Okay. Now, the most important thing that y'all...
Dun, dun, dun.
We get to try.
You get to try 'em. I'll take this
Okay.
extra.
I want to make this Django one here go away.
It's going to be crispy. Sweet and
All right.
savory and yummy in your mouth.
Oh man, you kidding me?
See? They're new, right?
And it was 10 minutes.
I don't even hear that crunch.
I can. Oh my God, is it good?
But it's about as easy as it gets.
And get online. I better do this. I'll be nice. Sorry. I'm going to put a link down to OBR where you can just text donate. I've got some pictures. I'll show those now. These are some of the rigs that they use to get the food to people. And if you get online and you start reading about OBR, and OBR's website will also go into detail about it.
Absolutely. Full story, backstory, everything.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. They put food. This is world-class barbecue stuff that most of you have never got to try. It's different than what you get at your local barbecue shop. It is world-class. And these people have lost their homes. They've lost everything, and they get handed something that you can't even get unless you know how to make it. And it changes lives. You can do that now. You don't have to come and do this with us. Buy the cookbook, donate to OBR, go to Mark's site, you can get with me, and we'll help put you in touch with these people. You can volunteer, you can do all kinds of things. Get involved.
Yeah, that's the great thing about OBR is that you don't have to be a cook to be a part of OBR. And to be a part of OBR, all you have to have is a servant's heart. You have to want to help people. And it takes everything from accountants to truck drivers to plumbers, electricians, cooks, logistics personnel, human resources. It takes all walks of life to make OBR go round. And if you don't have the time to donate, then you maybe have some money to donate. You can do it through the internet. You can find a volunteer. But at the end of the day, if you have a gift, is what I like to say. If you have a gift, look for a way to give it. My gift is cooking. I found a way to give back in the form of barbecue through Operation Barbecue Relief. Regardless of what you do, find your gift and find a way to help other people with it.
My gift is voice. People, for some reason, think that I have a really cool voice to listen to. I don't know why, but hey, I hear it all the time in my ears for free. But subscribe to Mark, but more importantly, get this book and get involved. Use your gift. I will tell you right now, those are some of the most delectable things I've ever eaten. Imagine the best chicken wing you've ever had, amped up. Like they're just awesome. Go to Amazon, get you one of these books. I can't say enough about it. You can text to donate. You might have seen that on some of the trucks we did. I'll put a link again down for OBR's webpage, and if you can volunteer, volunteer. If you can't, give what you can. They put food in front of people that have had everything taken away from them. Floods, hurricane season we're going into now. Do what you can, give what you can, and we'll see you soon.